rejuvenate, restore, refresh, and heal. At Fantuzzo Acupuncture, we seek to help achieve effective health and wellness in an elegant spa-like atmosphere. Fantuzzo Acupuncture specializes in traditional acupuncture, cosmetic anti-aging acupuncture, acupressure, cupping, CBD topical creams, and more. Approach healthcare holistically. Visit FantuzzoAcupuncture.com to book online today. FantuzzoAcupuncture.com.
From attic to basement, we're here for you. It's quality service in all we do. Call Taylor. 500 help.
That's right. It's Taylor 500 help for all of your furnace and air conditioning needs, especially this time of year. You want to have the guys over. Taylor 500 help and get your furnace inspected to make sure it's in top good working order, right? It's the first thing you want to do when fall rolls around, and we've already had some not cold temperatures, but it's gotten pretty chilly at night. So call Taylor. They'll come out and make sure everything is running well. They'll change your filter for you on your furnace. They'll do it all. They're that kind of guy. Since 1947, Taylor Heating and Plumbing and Bradford White have been the most reliable source for all your plumbing and heating needs. If you call Taylor 500 help right now, you can get their Plumbing Safety Essentials Plus plan and save $100 on a Bradford White water heater. It's a great deal. So call Taylor 500 help for duct cleaning, air conditioning, heating, plumbing, and home energy. They are the guys to go with. And I think we gave a shout out to Fred yesterday. Fred is a patriot of the We the People podcast network. He watches our show. He called Taylor. He needed some work done, and they came over and they got it done for him. So shout out to Fred. Also, you want your lawn to look good. You want to make sure that when the snow comes, you're able to get the snow off your driveway. Precision Lawn and Garden in Webster. They will take care of all your needs. Rochester's lawn specialist since 1969. You go up there to Precision Lawn and Garden in Webster and you ask Kimberly or Justin, hey, what kind of snowblower should I get? I've got the driveway about yay big, and I want to make sure that I'm able to get the sidewalk and the driveway in a pretty small amount of time, and they will tell you what kind of snowblower you need. They have everything you need there, in stock models, sale models. If you want to cut down a couple of trees before any ice storm hits this winter, they have chainsaws, they have little ones, they have big ones. So they will give you anything you possibly need, and they have great advice on that stuff. Precision Lawn and Garden, it's Kimberly and Justin in Webster. Make sure you give them a call. And also, you want to make sure your driveway looks good. Express Sealers, they will come out and they will seal your driveway. Nothing makes your curb appeal look nicer than a freshly sealed driveway. Call Express Sealers, not a fly-by-night company. They did my driveway and it looks amazing. Not one of those door knocker sealing companies. They protect your investment. Call Brian at Express Sealers, 645-2010, 645-2010. So you want to make sure that gets done. Please support our advertisers because they support us here at the We the People Podcast Network and Kimberly's Revolution.
Big Wednesday. Big Wednesday.
Whoop, whoop.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Not me.
Live from the We the People broadcast studio
Hello.
in cloudy but mild 65-degree Irondequoit, New York.
Not bad.
She's ready to start up her own convoy. Who's with her? It's Kimberly Ray.
I got you, Big Daddy. Breaker 19, Breaker 19. We got ourselves a convoy. That is the name of the show today. We've got ourselves a convoy, except for the fact that we don't have ourselves a convoy. We'll break that story down. I'm Kimberly. You're listening to Kimberly's Revolution. You're watching the We the People Podcast Network. Tom is sitting right across from me. Kitty corner.
Just Tom. Right?
Just Tom. And of course, Chad Hummel is sitting directly across from me.
What's up?
Chad Hummel is an attorney and he loves a confrontation.
What's up?
And he is here today with us. And of course, Austin is joining us. We appreciate. Where's Austin?
Thumbs
there
up.
There he is.
What's up? Thumbs up.
There he is. And of course, give a shout out to Fitz at Rockbox Productions, who helped us get everything set up and kind of loaned us Austin. We are appreciative. And if you're thinking about setting up your own podcast, or you need help, or maybe your company, you want to reach out to Fitz at Rockbox Productions. That's ROCVOX. And he will help you with everything you need. And he has his own studios. And so he is the guy to go to. So again, welcome everyone to the We the People Podcast Network. You heard our advertisers, Fantuzzo's Acupuncture, Taylor Heating and Plumbing, Express Sealers, of course, and Precision Lawn and Garden. Please call on them if you need any services for them because they support us and we appreciate that. Yeah, we've got ourselves a convoy. In fact, we've got ourselves such a convoy that we need 80,000 truckers. How did we get here? See, there's a big rig right there. We don't have 80,000 truckers.
You know what it should say on the side of that double trailer, those two trailers?
Biden fucked us?
It should say, let's go, Brandon.
It should
Right.
say that.
I want to see a convoy of 18-wheelers trucking down the interstate with let's go, Brandon.
That's a great
painted
idea.
on the side of their trailer.
That we should reach out to like a truckers organization. Is there such a thing? Do truckers have their own organization, like
do.
a union?
I think those are
Yes,
called
they
truck
do.
stops.
Tru-
You ever been to a truck stop?
It's called, I think, the Teamsters.
Now,
isn't it?
I'm-
Yeah, the Teamsters.
I don't know what you're inferring.
I'm just asking if you ever had to stop to go to the
Mr.
bathroom
Attorney,
while
if-
you're traveling on the highway.
What do they call those? They call those truck lizards, or they call them something that hang out in truck stops. And I will tell you that I have
Well,
been.
apparently you know more about it than I do because I've never heard of a truck lizard.
I don't. They're called something, and I don't know if it's truck
Right.
lizard. It's called something else.
They're
but
called hookers,
They're
Kimberly.
women who hang out in truck stops, and I have been to truck stops, but I do not hang out in truck stops.
Do they still have the coin operated machines at truck stops, or
For what?
is it more high tech now?
They have showers at truck stops.
I've heard of that.
I don't know. But anyway, hey, lot lizards. Thank you, Donna. Yeah, they're called lot lizards.
That's Dan, I think.
Same thing.
No, it was Donna, wasn't it? That
Said-
said lot lizards. There's a lot of people that say lot lizards. Dan
Oh, you're
and
right.
Donna,
You're right.
and yeah, and I'm
All right.
looking through the magic mirror, and I see Chris.
Even my mom knows they're called lot lizards.
Well, I
All
don't
right, now I'm
know.
starting to get nervous.
What did I say? Truck lizards was something like
Jeez.
that. I don't know.
Eh,
But yeah, so we should get together
Why
with
do
all
our
the truckers.
listeners know what lot lizards are at such a high rate of?
Why does your mother?
right.
I ask you this. You know,
Let's move on.
I don't know. But anyway, so the trucking industry is short 80,000 truck drivers. Is that whose fault is that? Is that the trucking industry's fault? Is it? I mean, I don't know. Is it?
Hold on, we just have to clear my mom's name real quick. And I was actually thinking this, mom, Chris, there. So my mom was a traffic manager at Liquitane Corporation,
Yes.
which used to be down on Prince Street. She actually managed
Really?
the schedule of the truck drivers.
Okay, so she
Yeah.
knows.
She managed the highways, the roads. Oh yeah. So
Truck
she knows all
drivers.
about lot lizards. I guess.
Truck drivers move 71% of the U.S. economy's goods. But if we're 80,000, and I don't do the math on this, but if we're 80,000 drivers short,
The answer is a lot.
how many goods aren't getting delivered of that 71%? If truck drivers move 71% of the nation's economy and we're short 80,000 truck drivers, what does that mean?
Well, we would have to know what is the total number of truck drivers and then divide it into it.
Here's what I don't like. I don't like the fact that they're blaming this on truck drivers. That's bullshit right there. That is just moving the blame. The blame is on the fact that all those ships are waiting off the harbors with no one to deliver the goods from the boats to the freaking shipyards.
That's why we need more cheap labor from Mexico.
So that we can load up all those things onto the truck beds
Right.
to get them out to where they need to go. Why is this all of a sudden a trucker issue?
The
Why-
plan is working perfectly.
What, to destabilize the entire economy?
Right.
To put the blame, if you know, oh, okay, it's a trucker problem. Oh, it's a cargo ship problem. Oh, it's a supply chain problem. It's a store not ordering the things that they need problem. When the problem lies in Washington, D.C.
It's all part of the plan to make the United States a third world country.
I mean, the Democrats are doing a great job of decimating this country, aren't
That's
they?
the whole point.
From gasoline, I paid yesterday
$17.
$3.39
Oh, got a bargain.
for gas.
I paid $4.03.
Where do you get your gas?
That's the ultra premium.
He had
You
pumps.
don't need ultra premium.
I was.
That's a scam. You
I
know
had a
that.
siphon. I got mine for free at Big Lots.
I was riding around in my 1970 Olds.
right.
My 1970 Olds
Could
Cutlass.
you
takes
smell my
premium.
breath? It's a little gasoline-y.
It's all the same. So mine's a little garlicky.
How was
So
your
you're
lunch?
garlicky and gasoline-y.
So there's
um,
no vampires in the building
I'm
today?
trying to keep
No.
this show on track. You guys are smelling each other's breath right now.
Allegedly.
I mean,
Garlic.
come on.
I had lunch with big bank people today. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hobnobbing.
Thanks for the invite.
I'm trying to do business
I
for
said
us.
it.
You know what I
said
mean?
at Core Life Eatery all by myself.
I'm very sorry about that. So the Democrats have done a great job of decimating the labor industry, the healthcare industry, because a lot of nurses have quit.
Every industry.
The transportation industry. They're trying to blame the truckers on what is a
Education.
the education industry. Gasoline is at an all-time high. If you go back and look at to what you were paying for gas in 2019, I guarantee you were not paying $3.39 a gas for the regular cheap gas that I can afford. Not like a big spender Chad Hummel, who is buying the ultra premium. I can't afford that on my measly salary that I'm making, which is nothing. But $3.39 and only going up from here, people.
Yeah.
It's only going up.
Not going to get any better.
So the question is, what do you do about it?
You vote Democrat.
Are 80,000 truckers, if they hire 80,000 truckers today, is that going to fix the problem? They can hire 80,000 truckers today, and they will sit there waiting for those ships to get the go-ahead to come in and unload the crap so that it can be put on trucks.
All right.
But until they unload the ships, which they're not allowed to come in and unload, then it's not a trucker problem.
This may actually be a hot take here I have.
Ooh.
But
Hot
when
take.
you have
Hot Tom take.
when you don't have enough truckers, it may not be because there aren't enough truckers. It may be because the supply and demand, there's not enough demand for truckers, meaning that the big trucking companies, the union guys, are getting all the jobs, and maybe your solo entrepreneurs that own their own truck by themselves have been squeezed out because there just isn't as many deliveries as there was.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, it sounds good. Right. Kathy
I understood
says,
that like I understood economics in 10th grade. I get it.
Kathy says shortages are going to be here very soon. Kathy, I got news for you. Shortages are already here. You go to Wegmans or Tops today and take a look at some of the empty shelves. They have made us, in a very short period of time, less than a year, into a socialist society where there are shortages and inflation is out of control and gas prices are going up and we don't have enough people to work. They have made us into a socialist society in a very short period. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, if Biden can get something done, he can certainly bring this economy in the country to a standstill.
That's exactly correct. So what I think Tom was trying to explain, and he probably explained it completely accurately, I just was not at his level of understanding. So I'm going to have to dumb this down.
What?
I'm going to have to dumb this down for myself.
Yeah.
It's simple supply and demand.
Right.
So in a normal economic supply and demand type of situation, the consumer kind of dictates through its demand, right? You and I want something. We want a certain product. An entire region of the country wants a certain product. In the South, they want sunscreen and things like that.
Sure.
Or Budweiser.
Or Budweiser.
Or umbrellas. I'm just a Southern belle with a little parasol.
So the Democrat socialists, like they like to refer to themselves, they want to see consumer change, right? They want to see Americans change their habits. They don't like our habits. So because the consumers won't
living large,
because consumers won't do it on their own because we don't want to, because we live in a free society where we're supposed to be able to pick and choose, thereby set the supply and demand through normal channels. They don't like that. So what do? They use the tool, the heavy-handed tool of the government through legislation, regulation, financial policies, and they force it. They force it on us. So they don't like what we're doing. So they force us to change our habits by putting policies in place that cause a truck driver shortage, cause gasoline prices to soar. So they're effectively forcing our hand. So instead of free market supply and demand, you have government-run supply and demand.
I don't think we want government-run supply and
no,
demand.
That's socialism.
Wait a minute.
Was
that's
that
communism.
Was that clearer or more confusing?
That was definitely more confusing. I agree.
Okay.
Was I blurry? Someone says Kimberly's camera needs adjustment.
Yeah, a little
Maybe
bit.
it's-
I fixed you.
It's
Don't
just
worry.
my
You
face,
look
Sue.
good.
It's just
I
my
think that was
face.
a backhanded insult.
I know.
I thought
A
it was the
longtime
whiskey. I
follower
thought it
of
was the
yours, or-
whiskey, Kimberly. You always look beautiful to me.
Thank you very much. I need adjustment. Listen, Sue, I need a lot of adjustments, not just the camera adjustment to be sure. Yeah. So I just look at that and and smart people understand it. But what I worry about are there a lot of people out there that don't get what you and I and Tom just discussed here.
Sometimes, Tom.
They don't understand who the real culprit is.
No, they understand politics. And if it's their guy or gal
right.
in office,
Exactly.
whether it be local, state, federal, that's all that matters.
They
to them.
support it.
Yeah,
No matter what.
They rationalize. They defend the good, of course, because that's the easy part. And then when there's clear bad, they rationalize it.
Yeah.
They come up with a reason why it has to be that way, as opposed to
Right.
pointing the finger at the person who's causing the problem.
Exactly. So there are over 100 ships stalled off the coast. And they're just sitting there.
I think because the water's too shallow for them to get in
And
land, or
in 80,000
Gotta be
truck
climate
driver
change.
shortage.
Global warming, yeah.
The 80,000 truck driver shortage is not is not the culprit of this. It's it's just not.
It's all the policies that
It's
led
just
to it.
not. So speaking of blaming, this lady.
What did I do now?
This lady, I mean, she is evil. She is 100%. I mean, she's got the blame game down good.
We must
right?
be talking about our governor,
Is this
our
prophet
governess,
I never thought
Queen Hochul.
I think I did say this, that the devil is always better. Always, always, every single time. The devil is better than the one you don't.
Right.
We didn't really know Kathy Hochul, did we, guys? We didn't really know her.
No, because a lieutenant governor
We didn't know her.
in New York State is a nobody, right? Bob Duffy was a nobody.
She cuts, ribbons at grocery stores.
Exactly.
She holds babies and goes to preschools and, does whatever she does.
And now she walks around with a gold chain that says, "I've been vaxxed."
Right. And then she blames. Did you know that apparently Governor Kathy Hochul claims that General Colin Powell was killed?
Yeah.
He didn't die of cancer or COVID. He was killed by someone. Do you want to know who he was killed by?
This guy right here.
Let's listen to who she blames General Colin Powell's death on. Roll tape.
We had a very high profile case, Colin Powell, and our sympathies go out to his family and thank him for his extraordinary service to our nation. But his story cannot be hijacked by the anti-vaxxers. He had unique circumstances, as many older people have. They have
Cancer,
immunocompromised. There are other circumstances
cancer
that clearly went into his unfortunate death. And I don't want anyone to say that this is a reason not to get vaccinated, because listen to this. How did he get sick in the first place? Someone who wasn't vaccinated gave him the virus.
Wow.
What?
He had to get that from someone
Shocker.
else.
You
And that is
lying
what happened.
bitch.
Yep.
How dare you?
She followed
you
him.
lying bitch.
Kimberly, she followed him for 10 days and categorized every person that it was in 6 feet of him.
Oh my God. She blamed General Colin Powell's death on the unvaccinated. The pure, unadulterated gall of this lying bitch.
All right, can we do Chad time, Chad corner here?
Yes.
Let's
and
replay
now the
that.
news.
Yeah, let's do it. Now the news. Let's replay that, Austin, and let me kind of stop it along the way.
Okay.
If we could.
Okay. I like this game.
We had a very high profile case.
Stop there.
That didn't last very long.
We had
why? What do you mean? What's a high profile case? I mean, since when has a disease graduated into, or a virus graduated into, our governors and our elected officials getting on TV and declaring them to be high profile cases? Well, that's not even true. I don't know. Did you know that Colin Powell was even sick? I didn't know he was sick. I
knew
know
he had
was
cancer.
dying.
I knew he had cancer.
Yeah, but it wasn't as if he was on his deathbed and America was getting updates, right?
No.
It was
no.
all of a sudden.
Right.
There was a news report that he passed away.
He'd been battling cancer for several years.
So
and sooner or later,
there's
the cancer wins.
There's no high profile case here, unless the government, unless the very person that's been pushing the jab on us
Mhm.
like it's her job,
Right.
which it is.
It is.
By the way, it is her job, unless somebody like her needs to use it as an example, whether for good or for bad or whatever, like
Mhm.
she's doing right here.
Right.
It's a high profile case.
It is
It's just
today.
one of millions of Americans who've contracted COVID. And it happens to be Colin Powell. All right, let's go on. Let's see how far we can get.
Colin
Stop.
Powell. And our sympathies go out to his family and thank him for his extraordinary service to our nation.
Stop.
But his
You're not the
He's a Republican. She's a Democrat. Do you think that she really would have, if he was still alive and he said something, do you think she would have agreed with him? No, she would have never agreed with Colin Powell.
Okay, go ahead.
story
Stop!
cannot be hijacked
No, I got nothing.
by the anti-vaxxers. He had unique circumstances, as many older people have. They're immunocompromised.
All right,
There are
stop
others-
there. For 18 months, the anti-vaxxers, right? The mean, nasty, dirty,
Right.
deplorables that I am, the anti-vaxxers
That I am.
Yeah, that you are.
That Tom is.
For 18 months, when people were dying with COVID and not scientifically because of COVID, not as a direct proximate cause of COVID,
Yeah.
but because of their underlying conditions, because of their stage 4 cancer, because of their advanced other diseases that they had, they were
Right.
on dialysis, etc. Because of all those reasons, people were then contracting COVID
And then they died of
and
COVID.
died, and the government said they died of COVID.
Of course.
And if you or I outlaid the fact that they had stage 4 cancer, that they were on dialysis, and that their probability of surviving the week was 8%, we would have been censored from Facebook.
Of
We would have
course.
been put in Facebook jail because you weren't allowed to say,
You still aren't allowed to say.
yeah. For decades and decades and decades, people would be sick and have comorbidities and then contract the flu or
And die.
contract pneumonia,
And
and
die.
they didn't die of the flu or pneumonia. They died of whatever their underlying condition was.
Yes.
And then the table
Yes.
switched. When the hospitals were documented, it was documented that the hospitals were getting paid up to $30,000 or more to record COVID deaths. Then all of a sudden everybody was dying of COVID. But now it's okay. Now when it's clear that somebody who had been vaccinated dies with COVID, now the narrative has to change
Of course
according
it
to the
does.
government.
It
now
does
the narrative
because
is
the agenda.
now the narrative is, oh, he had underlying conditions. Wait a second, I didn't think underlying conditions mattered. It didn't matter for 18 months. 700,000 Americans supposedly died of COVID. Horse shit. Probably 600,000 of them had some sort of cancer or
Cancer.
disease that they were going to die of anyway.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But now
it's all the
because
big lie.
the-
It's the big lie.
Yeah, the dirty, deplorable anti-vaxxers like myself, like you folks in the room, all of us dirty people, we're not allowed to point out now that Colin Powell was vaccinated, fully vaccinated.
But they're also
Nope.
trying to say he died of COVID because he didn't get his booster.
Oh,
you
they'll
know-
spin it. They'll
it's
spin it every
spinning.
which way.
Go
They're going
ahead.
to spin in circles.
circumstances that clearly went into his
Clearly.
unfortunate death.
Clearly.
And I don't want anyone to say that this is a reason not to get vaccinated.
Stop
because
there. Classic political
push, yeah.
propaganda right there. I don't want anyone to say, I'm allowed to say whatever the hell I want. Aren't we?
No.
Or maybe we're not.
No.
Chad, you're hijacking the conversation. Anti-vaxxing, hijacking the conversation.
See, that's the point. She just declared. Look, I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. And for maybe
What?
for a decade,
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
for a decade, believe it or not, maybe once, probably not, but maybe once stepped back and reflected on something that I had said or some theory that I had, and maybe did a little self-reflection and wondering, well, did that really make any sense? Is that just my own propaganda, my own conspiracy theory?
Right.
Well, guess what? If you don't actually believe what she's telling you right now, then you're a moron. You're a complete fool and an idiot, because she is telling you with her own words,
Yep.
with her finger up in the air, pointing in the camera,
Yep.
and she's telling you she does not want you to say something. Why? Because it's true, and she doesn't want you to say it. She doesn't want us dirty anti-vaxxers to declare that Colin Powell had been vaccinated.
Exactly.
She doesn't want us to declare the truth. I don't want somebody saying that it was because of this.
Right.
What if it's true that it's because of this?
Roll that back and then let's continue on. Roll that back just a tad. There we go.
As many older people have, they're immunocompromised. There are other circumstances that clearly went into his unfortunate death. And I don't want anyone to say that this is a reason not to get vaccinated, because listen to this. How did he get sick in the first place? Someone who wasn't vaccinated gave him the virus.
Oh
Who?
my
Can
God.
she tell us who that person is?
Oh
No,
my
really.
God. He was
I want to
murdered.
know.
She said he was murdered by an anti-vaxxer.
Kathy Hochul, I want to believe what you're saying, because I know all of your supporters believe you. I know every clown that's going to vote for you believes you. So I want you to tell your supporters, and I'll listen too. I want you to tell your supporters that you want to vote for you next year, right? You want and need 9 to 10 million New Yorkers to vote for you next year at this time. Tell them who this person is. I want to know who the person is that killed Colin Powell.
So do we
Tell
put
us
him
who it
on
is.
trial for murder at
Chad,
that point?
Chad,
I don't
it's
know.
just
They bring him up on
science.
charges?
It's
Negligent
science, Chad,
homicide.
science.
It's science, yeah. Hashtag science. Tell us who the person is. I want to meet this
Well,
person.
it has to be somebody, unless he licked a gas pump. Do you still get it from a gas pump now?
You get it from a toilet seat.
Toilet seat.
Don't sit down.
I want to meet this
Don't sit down.
despicable, anti-vaccine deplorable who had the gall to go to a restaurant, okay, with their mask on. They walked in with their mask on, and then they sat down and they took their mask off. And then they got up and they put their mask on. They sat down, they put it on, and then they got it up and they stood. And I want to meet that person that killed Colin Powell. I want to meet them. I want to spit in their face
You hear
with
that
my unvaccinated saliva.
and you listen to that.
It's unbelievable.
That's evil right there.
It really is.
That is evil. Colin Powell didn't die of cancer that he'd been battling for years, or probably all of the pharmaceuticals he'd been on for a number of years that were poisoning him day by day. No. He was killed by an anti-vaxxer who gave him COVID.
It almost becomes over.
You know what? If it weren't so ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly.
But here's the thing, Chad and just Tom and Austin.
I don't care.
There are people that are going, huh? She's absolutely right.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe her.
She's right.
There's no doubt about
Those
it.
and here's what the Democrats have done. We mentioned this earlier. They have brought down the nation economically, and now they're pitting Americans against each other.
They're
They
the
brought down the
unifiers.
nation intellectually. People are now intellectually lazy and dishonest because they just simply believe the most bizarre propagandic style statements, such as the one that the governor of, I don't know, what is New York? The third largest populated state now in the union?
Fourth
behind Texas, Florida, and Cali.
Yes.
Yeah. We're the fourth largest state
Well,
in
wait
the
a minute.
entire country.
We could be fifth now.
Yeah, 3 more people just moved since the podcast
They're
started.
out.
Yeah,
They're
probably
out.
3,000 people moved. Yeah, we're the 4th largest state in the United States of America.
Yeah.
And our governor, by de facto, she is there's the president, and then there's 3 governors of larger states, and then there's her. There's her. I mean, I know that's that's not really a politically a scientific type of analysis, but she has a powerful voice, and people hear her voice. Right? She
And
has
for
the
her
bully
to blame
pulpit.
the unvaxxed for General Colin Powell's death is the most egregious, ridiculous comment
On many fronts.
I've ever heard.
On many
I
fronts.
mean, I heard that and I thought my head was going to explode for a second. And I thought not today because I am actually having a pretty good hair day. So I thought I don't want my head to explode
Well,
today.
maybe God told her this was the truth.
Well, she is an
Well, she does-
apostle, right?
She does have a direct line.
Right. Maybe that's how she got the news.
Austin, who is
Apostle Hochul.
Apostle Hochul, right?
That's what she
Austin,
said.
Absolutely.
Austin coined that term.
Yeah.
Maybe God
In the
told
God
her
Freedom podcast.
who the unvaxxed person was.
Yeah,
It's a great point.
maybe
She had a
knows-
vision.
Right. Maybe it's like God wrote it on a tablet or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
to fire.
Would that
in
be
the-
an iPad tablet, or was that a piece of stone granite from
maybe the fire.
There sure is a lot of things burning.
Maybe some
Google was
words.
around back in prehistoric times?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Somehow a bush caught on fire, and then maybe in the smoke.
Or a
it-
Wendy's.
I'm sure God just came down, held up his finger and said, "Oh, but listen to this."
Hey, listen, let's not get Austin going here on the God subject. That's for another podcast.
But So I want you to hear the lies coming out of her. They're lies coming out of her mouth, because if we don't point them out, nobody else is going to do this story.
Yeah.
Everyone else is just going, looks good to me. That's what she said.
And you know what's crazy? She actually sounds and has the mannerisms when she speaks of Biden. She has that kind of slow, deliberate drawl of,
Mhm.
I know everything I'm saying is a lie. I know that I'm reading some script that somebody
Mhm.
gave me.
Mhm.
I know that the only thing she does not do is, stumble over every other word like Biden does.
Here's what I think. And I mean, I could be wrong. I
No, you couldn't be.
don't think Governor Cuomo would have
Who?
ever said anything remotely like, I could be wrong, but I don't think I hear those words coming out of Cuomo's mouth, to be honest. And I can't believe
He was too
that I'm actually
smooth to do
saying
that.
something
Yeah.
like that, but I don't think he would ever
No,
say
you're-
something like that.
You're right. And Tom's right too. Cuomo was evil in his own way.
The devil, you know.
Yeah. But he, his evilness when it came time to speak publicly was very, as Tom just said, very smooth
It was more like Bill Clinton
and very calculated.
and Obama.
Yeah. She's literally
She's given up all the secrets.
just evil and just
They told you what they want, what you
Stupid.
wanted to hear,
All the
and
unvaxxed
then
stuff.
did it behind the back door where nobody saw him,
that's a good
where
point.
she's saying it right out in front.
Yeah, she's saying it right out in front, and the idiots that are gonna vote for her are still gonna eat it right up.
But again, I worry there are people that believe that. Wait till she starts whispering. I don't know. I don't know.
And sniffing people's hair.
Yeah. So that's what we got.
All right,
So-
good show.
Sounds like a manslaughter investigation, someone says. I don't know what they're saying boring. What does that mean? Are you saying the show's boring? Well, I'm sure she's not saying the show's boring. Maybe she's saying Hochul is boring. I'm not sure.
It's probably the show.
Just to let you know, Procter and Gamble is raising prices on diapers, detergent, and the other things that you need.
Shocker.
So if you go into CVS or Walgreens and you steal them today, no one will stop you. I just wanted to point that out.
I think it's a gamble anytime you go to the proctologist.
No, Procter and Gamble.
Really?
They're a Cincinnati
Depends how
company.
long their finger is, Chad.
Here are the things that are going to become a very high commodity, right? You're not going to be able to find them, and when you do, they're going to be very high priced.
Cabbage Patch dolls?
Yes. Toothpaste,
We had that story a couple weeks ago.
Oh, I don't use toothpaste. That's good. Go on.
Tide detergent,
Don't use that either.
Pampers, but the
Pampers?
liberal left thinks all those things should be free anyway.
Oh, of course.
So you shouldn't prosecute people who go into stores and steal them
Oh, because they need them.
because they need them. You shouldn't have to buy those.
The owner of the
things.
store doesn't need the money to feed his family.
Right. Exactly. And
Those
Kathy
are dirty capitalists.
Kathy
like the
Hochul-
dirty anti-vaxxed.
Kathy Hochul will tell you that those are basic human needs.
Of course.
And so they should be free for everyone. So when you can't find them, no worries. Just don't brush your teeth or, wash your clothes or anything like that because, it's no big deal. Anti-vaxxers are killing people. That's what you should be worried about. You want to know what other horse shit is coming out of Albany? And by the way, you're watching and listening to Kimberly's Revolution on the We the People podcast
That was a
network.
great segue, by the way.
And
She said horse
Horse
shit,
shit.
and you're watching the We the People podcast. I love
of
it.
course,
But
the We
go
the
on.
People podcast network. And we want to thank our sponsors, Fantuzzo's Acupuncture, Taylor Heating and Cooling, Express Sealers, and Precision Lawn and Garden. Please support our advertisers because they support us. Do we test for weed here? I mean, as a realty corporation, and also you are a lawyer, and Tom, you are an appraiser, And Austin, I don't know what you do. You're a student, so I assume you smoke lots of weed. I don't know.
all the time.
But do we
nonstop.
drug test here in the building of Revere Realty, where the We the People Podcast Network is broadcasting
Are you
to
gonna?
all areas of the world?
Would you like me to have Tom pee in this cup on live on TV?
No, nobody wants to see that.
Nobody wants
Do
to
we
see
drug
that.
test?
Of course we do.
Everybody
Okay.
No,
drug
no, of
tests.
course we don't. We don't drug test.
You don't
here.
drug test?
No.
Uh,
I just
We
Where
don't
should
even
we-
do background checks. That's why you're here.
Well, you didn't have to. My background check was front and center on the news. You know, the Democrat and
What are you
Chronicle.
talking about? I'm your broker. I had no idea anything about.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. So in Albany, Albany's labor department has issued new guidance that bans employers in the state of New York from testing employers for
employees.
weed unless that person seems visibly stoned on the job. Under the new rules, you can reek of dope, but that's not grounds for a test. And so they say only observable signs of use that do not indicate impairment on their own can be cited as an articulable symptom of impairment. So basically they're saying you can look high and you can smell high, but they still can't test you. I mean, they put it in very, very difficult words, but what they're saying is you can be high, but it's against the rules now for the labor department for any employers in the state to be tested.
And of course, the juxtaposition is that many employers in New York State right now have to test their employees for COVID,
Right.
even if they have zero symptoms.
Right.
So you have to test the healthy
Yes.
in order to rule out any infectious disease,
Right.
but you cannot test somebody to see if they're high on drugs.
Exactly.
Where it may impact their ability to operate heavy equipment,
that's correct.
machinery, their
Yes.
engage with their employees and customers.
Yeah.
And you don't have to test, or you're not
Right.
allowed to test until they're visibly.
And employers are allowed to, make you force you to show them the vax card.
Yes.
But yeah,
Of course, this is where we're at.
if you're
Upside
high,
down world.
if you're high, they can't test you for drugs.
Right. Can you put Velveeta cheese on that?
I stood, it looks like broccoli, doesn't it? I stood next to some guy in the line at
Did
Wegmans
he
the other
smell
day,
like weed?
and I came out of the store smelling like weed.
You had a contact.
It happens.
But that guy can go into work
Right.
right after he left Wegmans, and his employer is not allowed by law to test him to see if he's high on the job.
Can he just fire him
And
for
that's
smelling like weed?
and that's the truth. And let me just read something, because I tweeted that we were upside down. I tweeted that, and you can follow me at Kimberly R Radio on Twitter. And I want to
Look at that
read
shameless plug.
I want to read you. I know. I want to read you one of the something that someone responded to me regarding that tweet
Is this an
regarding
inside source.
regarding alcohol or weed. And that person basically said that they would prefer someone who was high rather than someone who was an alcoholic. And that's where we are.
Well, was the alcoholic drinking at the time?
Saber's thoughts on Twitter.
Yeah, the
That's the guy-
Sabres are doing great. They're
Sa-
3-0.
Saber's thoughts.
Oh,
It's,
no,
a,
something else.
it's a guy on Twitter. I'd rather have a stoner than an alcoholic on my staff. Gee, I'd rather have neither. You
what
know
a
what I
s-
mean?
I know, what a stupid false equivalence. I mean, but that's what people do. That's what intellectually dishonest, illogical people do.
I know.
They can never address the premise that's put before
the
them.
issue.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
They always have to pivot and spin, and it's just a classic debate tactic that always goes south if you're actually debating somebody that
Yeah.
knows what they're doing.
Right. Yeah. I'd rather have a
Straw man
stoner
argument
than an
we like to
alcoholic
call it.
on my staff. I don't know. Maybe if I'm running a company, I want everyone
Yeah.
to be sober.
Exactly.
Call me crazy.
Maybe if there's punch presses being operated out in the
Could it
out
be
in the
simply we're
warehouse.
running out of workers at this point and you'll take anybody?
You want anyone, climbing up on
except
ladders?
somebody
and-
that's not vaccinated.
right.
Right.
If we don't want you if you're not vaccinated.
Right.
But if
Everybody
you're
else.
high,
Right. You're good.
No worries. I just wanted to, I read that and I thought that can't be true. That's got to be like an Onion story. You know, on Twitter,
Mhm.
they have the Onion, which is all satire. I don't know if you're familiar,
The Babylon
but I thought
Bee.
this has got, but it's not. This mandate came, it's not even a mandate, it's a law. Albany's Labor Department was not law, it's a guideline, right?
It's one of those things.
It's a guideline.
which is how our lives are run now. Our
It's a-
lives are
it-
run by guidelines
It's
and
new,
mandates.
it's new
and
guidance
dictates.
that bans employers in the state from testing its workers for weed unless they're visibly stoned.
Which, of course, at that point, why would you need to test them?
Good
Right?
point. You wouldn't.
I mean, when you're a
I can't
police
even.
officer and you pull somebody over,
Mhm.
yes, it is part of their protocol to administer the pre-alcohol test or a pre-drug screen, some sort of scientific type of screening device. However, they don't have to.
Yeah.
Obviously, the officer has training, both professional and life experience.
Mhm.
And if they come to a reasonable suspicion or probable cause that the person before them is intoxicated while they're operating their motor vehicle, they can place them under arrest. There doesn't have to be a test. So what's the point? By the time the person is visibly stoned, what's the
They're
point
already
of the
past the
test?
point of
Of needing a test.
right,
The test
exactly.
the test is supposed to be kind of that more neutral, non-arbitrary way where everybody is screened equally, so to speak, in order to provide, just baseline safety measures in the workplace. Not to pick one person out of the crowd and send them for a test
Right.
because they're visibly intoxicated, which at that point, again, you don't need the test.
Right, exactly. But I just wanted to point out this is the same state that's making you quit your job if you're not vaccinated. But if you're high, you're all right. If you're smoking weed, so much so that your entire being smells like it. And by the way, that's not a good smell. You don't smell good. I'm just saying, weed doesn't smell good.
It's better than the garlic.
You smell like a stale fart. I'm just saying. I want to be honest.
That's as opposed to a fresh.
Yeah.
Fart,
What is
of
a stale
course.
fart?
Because I'm a straight shooter, and I'm just going to tell you: you think you smell good when you smell like weed, you don't. You reek like a cat's ass. Now I'm just saying it. I'm putting it out
We got
there.
stale farts and cat's asses.
You reek like a cat's ass. It's horrible.
Oh, wait, hold on. We have a wonderful question here. Jason Madigan says, if you're high, do you still need to be vaccinated?
God damn it,
That's a
Jason! Why are
great
you
question.
asking stupid questions?
That is a
God
great
damn it!
question.
Honestly, seriously.
I'm going to need to get
Why are
high.
you asking such a stupid question?
So that
Of
they
course
don't
you need to
test
be
you?
vaccinated. Of course you do, Jason. God.
If we were all
I
high
can't
right now,
stand stupid people listening to this show, Jason. I kid. I'm only kidding, but I'm serious.
if we
And
were
I'm
all
sorry
high right
about
now,
the
that would be a
GD.
great question to try to answer.
I mean, we're not high.
We'd have a lot of fun trying to answer that question.
Oh my god! It makes me so mad. It does. The whole thing just makes me crazy, Jason. But I'm glad he gets us enough to write that because it's hilarious. And
He gets us.
So when you're high, you like Pop-tarts, right?
Oh, I like my Pop-tarts.
I like Pop-tarts.
Stone cold sober.
I know,
I
I
right?
like
on
mine. I
Pop-Tarts.
like mine in the toaster.
If it wasn't for
Half cooked.
Pop-Tarts,
Okay, question.
if it wasn't for Pop-Tarts, pork and beans, and hot dogs, I wouldn't have survived childhood. I would have been grossly undernourished. if
Why
it
did
wasn't.
your mother raise you like you were a pack of dogs? She's like you're on
And
your
why
own.
don't you
Fend for
ask her?
yourself.
She's going
Chad-
to post the next question.
Chad,
Okay.
do you eat the crust off the Pop-Tart
Oh,
first?
hell yeah.
No, first
Oh, no,
off,
not first.
do
no.
you are you one of the? Do you eat the Pop-Tart toasted or untoasted?
Slightly toasted.
Because if you eat it untoasted, you might be a sociopath. I'm just a psychopath. I don't know.
Both.
My husband doesn't toast the Pop-Tarts,
Good for him.
and I think there's something wrong with
It
him.
depends on the flavor.
Your husband's a Pop-Tart.
I'm a Pop-Tart.
Is that
I
what he
love-
call? Is that your nickname?
Did you? Okay, so your favorite Pop-Tart flavor? Cherry. Frosted.
Cherry, absolutely.
Did
What's
you-
wrong with the original strawberry?
Did you know, by the way, that Pop-Tarts weren't frosted until 1967?
I wasn't around in 1967, but thank you for recalling your childhood.
The fuck?
I mean,
up?
thank you for recalling your early 20s.
I think I ate the original frosted Pop-Tart.
Did you? Here's a nice little lawsuit for you. And I know you're a lawyer. You like this kind of thing. I'm just straightening my I don't know. Am I off a little? I don't know. I feel like I'm off a little.
Are you off a little? Is that a question
Oh,
or
I
a
know I'm
statement?
off a little. Yeah. So there's a lawsuit filed against the makers of Pop-Tarts, which is Kellogg. And they say that strawberry Pop-Tarts have
Are
very
racist?
little strawberry in them.
Oh.
Are
Shocker.
racist. Yes. They should be chocolate Pop-Tarts.
Did
What are we
anybody-
thinking?
Did anybody think it actually had strawberries in
I
it?
thought maybe somebody spilled a Pop-Tart on their lap.
It says
and burned
baked with
themselves.
real fruit right on the box.
I
Tom.
didn't think any of that stuff was
No.
actually real. It's filled
So
with
is fruit by the foot really fruit?
high fructose corn syrup and just everything else that's bad for. That's why
Nasty.
we love it. I don't want to know what the fuck is in Pop-Tarts. Just put it in the toaster and shut up. But this lady, Elizabeth Russet from New York, of course,
a liberal.
is leading the charge in the lawsuit against Kellogg's, saying that Kellogg's, wait for it, apparently has little to no actual strawberry, the fruit, in the Pop-Tart.
No kidding.
Shocker.
Mm. No
Elizabeth
comment.
Russet from New York has a lot of time on her hands.
Who's her lawyer?
A lot of time. I don't know.
Somebody that's getting paid well.
She claims that the company needs to adopt more accurate label, and she's suing for damages in excess of $5 million.
Who's the parent that's putting the Pop-Tart in the cart and saying, "Here, Johnny, I'm going to get you a good, healthy breakfast"? What? It's a Pop-Tart.
It's a
Doesn't
Pop-Tart.
everybody know it's shit?
It is shit.
It's part
Right.
of a balanced breakfast, Tom.
I don't think it is, Austin.
All right, I'm gonna try to provide some
Yum.
intellectual insight into this
So Chad's
discussion.
going to say, let's assume that the Pop-Tart really is good food. And then we'll work backwards from that.
I think if you're
Is that where you were
raised
going?
Let's go
Um,
with this. Let's go with this.
by a
Okay.
pack of wolves, a Pop-Tart is about the best thing you might get.
Clearly, the woman's an asshole for
Yes.
bringing this
Don't
law.
talk
Yes.
with Kimberly like that.
Clearly, the lawyers are a bunch of unvaccinated deplorables.
Yes.
That are bringing this lawsuit.
Yes.
Okay. The only problem, the only issue that is really in existence here is not that some woman was damaged by this, because if she's eating Pop-Tarts at the age of 35, then,
She's already damaged.
So, but it is false advertising. I mean, if we have rules in place that deal with advertising and all that type of stuff, whatever federal agency
But
regulates.
we know that Pop-Tarts, we know this.
But it says strawberry. If there's no strawberry in it, then the box shouldn't say strawberry. But that's not a $5 million lawsuit for an individual to bring.
well,
She has no damage.
it does have vegetable
0.0
juice for color.
0.0001 strawberry. It's the same as the
It has-
COVID death rate, Chad.
It has dried pears, dried apples, and dried strawberries. The strawberries, even though it's frosted strawberry, is third on the list of ingredients
Nice.
of berries.
You want to know what? Hold on. Go get my tinfoil hat because I have the answer. It just occurred to me. Here's
Really?
the answer.
Pop-Tarts.
It's simple.
I love Pop-Tarts.
It's simple.
Okay.
When Rome is burning, okay, we need a story like this, right? When
Look here. Don't
when
look here.
Pfizer
Look here. Don't look
Yes.
here.
When Pfizer and now of course our show is going to get banned, but when Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson and Moderna are in the process of wiping out half of the population of the United States with their poisonous COVID vaccinations,
There goes our show.
Allegedly.
then
By the way, we
Then
love
we need-
YouTube, and the We the People podcast network does not endorse anything Chad Hummel says.
then we need a lawsuit that goes national against fucking strawberry Pop-Tarts. That's what we need Americans talking
Yes,
about.
talk about that.
So that they're not talking about Kathy Hochul declaring that the unvaccinated killed Colin Powell.
Yes.
We need that.
Yes.
That's the answer.
That,
All right, let's move on.
100%. You're absolutely right.
Is our show banned now?
I don't know,
Probably.
but I
I hope
will
so.
I will say we do have to end the show early today because I do
horse
actually
shit.
I'm helping clients.
Aw.
I got to be way out in
Speaking of
Henrietta,
horse shit,
way out in Henrietta to show clients a
no, that's actually good news.
couple of houses. It is good news. It is
Revere
good.
Realty.
Revere Realty. Yeah,
Can you
that's
make
right.
your appointments at 5:30, by the way?
I would, but I have 2 appointments today, and they're the times that I could actually get. And then, as you
Okay.
know, we're in a hey, you look at a house for 3 days, and then they want all the offers.
And here's the
so
bottom
that's
line.
deal we're in.
You and I aren't buying or selling any real estate. Kimberly's doing that. You and I can't run this podcast. Kimberly's doing that. So whatever
talking
Kimberly
about?
says goes.
So
I got a listing going up tomorrow.
yeah, the ingredients are on the label. No, but Laura, no one reads the ingredients of Pop-Tarts.
I do.
You know what's
That's
in
why
the
my
Pop-Tarts,
kids don't eat them.
and it's nothing good. right?
Pop-tarts are fantastic.
I know, I love Pop-Tarts.
Lego
Oh
my
my
ego.
I love Egos. Again,
Mikey-
high fructose
Mikey
corn
likes-
syrup.
Mikey likes it.
I grew up on all that, and look at me today. So
Wow.
I know you're too busy to
Yes, thank you.
watch Netflix or Amazon Prime.
You know, I
or-
just started watching a show.
What'd you start watching?
Last night, I watched my first ever, what are they called? Seasons?
Okay.
I watched the first episode of a season. It was from last year.
Okay.
It's called The Good Lord Bird. Absolutely
I
fantastic.
never even heard of it.
It's the true life historical events of John Brown.
Was he an altar boy, Chad?
You know who John Brown was?
John Brown was the
Somebody
Yes.
guy
must know
with the
who
big
John Brown
hammer.
was.
Yeah.
Austin, John Brown, not the
Was it-
receiver for the
Was,
Baltimore
was he a
Ravens.
lumberjack that built the
Uh,
railroads?
Isn't that's the singer who feels good, right? Like, I feel good. That guy, right?
James Brown.
Oh.
John Brown was a white male that lived in America in the 1860s, and he's historically known to basically have started the Civil War because he went around Kansas. He actually started in Kansas.
Okay.
And
I'm not from Kansas.
Yeah, and
You look at me like I should know this.
he went around you're from Missouri.
From Missouri.
Yeah, same thing.
Nope. Whole different state.
He was declaring freedom on behalf of slaves. He would go around and try to free slaves from their masters, and ultimately he launched a raid against the federal government in Harpers Ferry, West Virginia. He took
Okay, very
over-
good.
He took over a
John
federal
Brown, yes, of
arsenal,
course.
and then they hung him.
You're right.
Of course.
Well,
So he was a Republican, Chad?
right.
Correct. Exactly. Yeah. So it's called The Good Lord Bird, and Ethan Hawke plays John Brown.
Oh,
and Ethan
wow.
Hawke is a
I
phenomenal
love
actor.
Ethan Hawke.
He doesn't. I mean, I've only seen one episode so far. I
Okay.
can't wait to watch.
Of course, that would be something that you would watch.
Yeah.
I
it's
mean, I'm not.
phenomenal.
That's not an insult.
I'm a huge John Brown fan.
Okay.
History wise, Harpers Ferry. I go to Harpers Ferry often.
Interesting.
Yeah. In fact,
Shit.
my son's going there this weekend.
Really?
He's going to Harpers Ferry all by himself.
I'm
His
gonna have
first
to.
trip.
I am gonna have to
all by
watch it.
himself.
I'm writing it down.
Chad, do you have
But-
Showtime?
Yes.
Who has Showtime?
It's part of the package.
So I will tell you that Ozark. If you're a fan of
Yes,
Ozark,
I've seen Ozark.
I've watched all the episodes of Ozark. Have you watched Ozark?
Never.
Oh
never
my
heard of it.
God.
Great show.
You've never heard of it?
I've heard of the Ozarks.
They don't
South
kill
Dakota.
enough people on the
What?
show.
The Ozarks,
Where?
South Dakota, North Dakota.
I gotta back away. I just gotta back away slowly.
You never heard of the Ozarks?
Are you serious?
What?
The Ozarks in Missouri?
Kansas.
The Lake of the Ozarks? You know, you're giving me a hard time, really? You knew that. Okay.
Well, they extend into South Dakota, don't they?
They really don't.
No, not even
Okay,
close.
Okay. So Ozark is a great. So if you are an Ozark fan, which I am, and I think
I
Tom,
am.
you Austin, do you know Ozarks?
I'm a Redskins fan.
No, I
The
don't know.
final season starts in January, and they're doing it in 2 parts of 7 episodes each. I hate that, but I'm jonesing for some more Ozarks. But I'm just going to tell you, I love this show.
Yeah.
Although none of it is filmed in the
It's all
Ozarks,
in Georgia.
which pisses me off. You can't. Why? Why aren't they using the Lake of the Ozarks? Says I partied a lot in the Lake of the Ozarks. I had a
course you did.
great time in the Lake of the Ozarks many moons ago. But so that's the final season, and then Squid Game. I tried to watch
I
Squid
watched the
Game.
whole thing.
Squid
it.
Game. Netflix added 4.4 million net subscribers last quarter because of this show.
How
It's-
many were in Korea?
It's the #1 show in 94 different countries. Squid Game.
Yeah.
I tried to. Maybe I need to give it
The
another
first
shot.
couple episodes are a little slow.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've watched it.
Yes, I've seen the whole
Is
thing.
it worth watching?
It is.
What are these things? What are they? What are they? What's the thing?
Those are
What is that?
those are Korean
That means
guys
they've been
wearing
vaccinated.
a costume. Those are the guys that
Bringing it
are running
back
the game.
around. That-
They're the employees.
they're the running the game. All right.
Yes.
And I will tell you that the last season of Shameless is now on Netflix.
Is that season 10
It's
or
season 11,
11?
which
I
I
thought that was the name
love.
of this podcast.
Shameless.
I've got like 2 seasons to catch up on that.
The best character on
Carl.
television right now of in the last couple of years, I would say one of the best characters of all time, next to maybe Archie Bunker, is
Wow.
what's his face? Gallagher is the dad who plays in
Oh, really?
Shameless. Yeah. Whatever his name
Frank.
is. Frank.
Frank.
Gallagher. One of the best characters of all time.
I thought it was
Yeah.
Tom Brady.
Is
Is
that William
Frank.
H. Macy?
Yeah, William H. Macy, who plays
Yeah.
Frank Gallagher.
He's very talented.
But the 11th season of Shameless is now on Netflix, so that's what I'm binging right now. But also something that you should watch if you're kind of into this apocalyptic kind of vibe is Y, as in the initial Y, The Last Man. Something happens and all the men die on
Shocking.
Earth. Even the male dogs, everything male dies, and
Of
women
course.
are left to run things, with the exception of one male and his male monkey. It's pretty damn good.
So that would be Biden.
Diane Lane plays is the president of the United States.
I love Diane.
Really?
Yeah, she plays the president because obviously she's like maybe the speaker, but everyone else dies, and so she's something. So it gets down to where she's the
They
president.
had a
because she's
movie
next
I
in line.
saw a couple years ago where it was the opposite, where all the women died. Wasn't there a movie about that? I saw it at the theater.
Yes,
It was
same kind of
interesting.
thing.
Yeah, it was interesting.
but except for one guy's daughter was left.
Right.
I can't think of the name of it, but yeah. So just a little update on some things that I
All right, you
found
gotta run.
interesting. I do have to run because I got to be out in Henrietta. What did your dad call Henrietta?
No comment.
Was Henrietta built on a swamp?
Henrietta is basically a swamp. That's why there's a whole bunch of ditches.
Yeah.
A lot of bugs out there.
So my clients say that it's in a flood zone, but I don't think you need flood insurance. But
No,
as you mentioned, the
it's not in a flood zone.
entirety of Henrietta used to be a swamp. So
Marketplace Mall was built on a swamp.
there you go. All right, that is going to do it for the We the People Podcast Network and Kimberly's Revolution. We thank our sponsors, of course. We thank Just Tom and Chad Hummel for sitting in today, who always has a lot of non-controversial things to say.
Hey, guess what, Kimberly?
Which we love about Chad.
Guess what? We might do a Monday next week. Maybe. We'll just have to see.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't want to work too hard. Know what I mean?
God bless. Be kind to others.
Rejuvenate, restore, refresh, and heal. At Fantuzzo Acupuncture, we seek to help achieve effective health and wellness in an elegant spa-like atmosphere. Fantuzzo Acupuncture specializes in traditional acupuncture, cosmetic anti-aging acupuncture, acupressure, cupping, CBD topical creams, and more. Approach healthcare holistically. Visit FantuzzoAcupuncture.com to book online today. FantuzzoAcupuncture.com.
From attic to basement, we're here for you. It's quality service in all we do. Call Taylor. 500 help.